Welcome to JB's Academy of Science. In this lesson, we are going to learn about electric field lines and electric flux. Electric field lines. We have learned about electric field. Electric field produced by a point charge, electric field due to a dipole, etc. we have studied. And we know that electric field is the space around a charge in which the presence of the charge can be felt by bringing another charge into the space. Now, how do we represent an electric field? An electric field can be imagined to be composed of very large number of closely spaced lines called field lines or electric field lines or electric lines of force. So an electric field consists of a very large number of electric field lines, closely spaced electric field lines. So here is a pictorial representation of electric field produced by a system of two charges, one positive charge and another negative charge. Now, lot of curves you can see in this picture. These curves represent electric field lines. Now, how do we define an electric field line in an electric field? An electric field line is a smooth imaginary curve in an electric field such that a positive charge would tend to move smoothly along the curve. So if you place a positive charge on the electric line of force or field line in an electric field, it would tend to move along the curve smoothly. That is the definition of the electric field line. Now let us discuss some properties of electric field lines. First, electric field lines begin from a positive charge and end on a negative charge. They are taken to be originating from positive charge and ending on negative charge. Electric lines of force are away from positive towards the negative charge. The tangent at any point on a field line gives the direction of the electric field at that point. So consider some electric field lines in an electric field. Take any one field line. Suppose you consider a small charge Q1 placed on a field line as shown in the figure. Draw the tangent at the point where Q1 is placed. The tangent, the blue color tangent, gives direction of the electric field. And the orange color tangent gives the direction of the force on Q1 placed at that point. So here F1 is nothing but Q1 into E1. Take another field line. Q2 is the charge placed at a point. Draw the tangent to the curve at that point. It gives by the blue arrow, which is E2, the electric field. F2 is the force experienced by the charge Q2 at that point. F2 is equal to Q2 into E2. Third property, electric field lines never intersect each other in an electric field. No two electric field lines in a field intersect each other. This is because we know that tangent at any point to the electric field line gives the direction of the electric field at that point. If two electric field lines intersect, then at the point of intersection we can draw two tangents, tangent to each curve. That means electric field at that point has two directions, which is impossible. Therefore, two electric field lines in a field never intersect each other. Electric field lines are always perpendicular to the surface of a charged body. Consider the figure. So a body is charged. Electric field lines will be emerging out of the charged body if it is positively charged, or if it is towards the body, it will be if it is negatively charged. So here, positively charged objects are shown here. So look at the electric field emerging out of this charged object. Each electric field line is perpendicular to the surface of the body. In a uniform electric field, the field lines are parallel to each other. We have studied uniform electric field and non-uniform electric fields. A uniform electric field can be produced by charging two metal plates which are parallel to each other. The space between them will be a uniform electric field. So if you take a uniform electric field, we can see that electric field lines are parallel to each other. In a non-uniform electric field, they are not parallel to each other. Then, electric field lines are very close to each other in a strong field and away from each other in a weak field. That is, the number of lines of force in an area gives the strength of the electric field at that region. In a stronger region, they are close to each other. In the weaker region, they are away from each other. Electric field lines never form closed loops. We know that electric field lines originate from positive charge and they terminate on negative charge. There is no electric field line from negative to positive charge. They are always from positive to negative charge. Therefore, they never form closed loops. So in this picture, electric lines of force from a positive to negative charge is shown here. We can see that all the electric lines of force are originating from positive and they are ending on negative charge. Electric field lines experience longitudinal contraction. Electric field lines, they have a tendency to contract lengthwise. The attractive property of unlike charges, attraction between a positive charge and a negative charge can be explained based on this property of electric field line. They try to contract lengthwise. They experience longitudinal contraction. This is the reason for attractive property of unlike charges. Electric field lines exert lateral pressure among them. This means they have a tendency to move away from each other. Two electric field lines in an electric field, they have a tendency to move away from each other. This is the reason for repulsion between like charges. If you take two like charges, for example, two positively charged objects, the electric field lines emerging from these two will have a tendency to move away from each other. Therefore, they repel each other. Now, electric flux. If we have an electric field, if we place an area inside the electric field, we know that electric field lines in this electric field will pass through this area. That is, they penetrate this area. This measure of the electric field lines passing through a given area in an electric field is called electric flux. Now look at the figure on the left. Here the same area is placed in two orientations. In one case, area is perpendicular to the electric field lines and then it is inclined at an angle to the electric field lines. In the first case, if it is perpendicular to the field lines, the entire electric lines of force or field lines are passing through this area. That is, electric flux is maximum, more. In the second case, if it is inclined, some electric field lines are passing through it and some of them are not. That is, electric flux through this area is less. So electric flux through an area which is placed in an electric field depends on the orientation of the area or surface placed in the electric field. It depends on the angle between the electric field lines and the area. Now, how to calculate electric flux passing through a surface or an area? For this, let us represent area as a vector here. We call area vector. How do we represent area as a vector? We know that area is a scalar quantity. Generally, area is taken as a scalar quantity. Now, we can represent area using a vector called area vector, which is represented by a line segment whose length is equal to magnitude of the area and direction is perpendicular to the surface. Now, look at the figure. The line segment is perpendicular to the area, delta S. Let delta S be the magnitude of the area. N cap be the unit vector along the perpendicular line. Then area vector delta S vector is equal to delta S into N cap. Delta S is the magnitude of the area, N cap is the direction of the area vector. Now, how to calculate electric flux passing through the area? Consider a small area delta S placed in an electric field at an angle theta. Let E be the electric field. Then the small flux passing through this small area delta S is electric field into component of the area in the direction of the electric field. Here, for our convenience, we have considered a uniform electric field. That is why all the electric lines of force are parallel to each other. So let theta be the angle between the delta S vector and the E vector. Then delta phi electric flux is equal to E vector dot delta S vector. That is, delta phi is equal to E delta S cos theta. Now consider a large area which is placed in an electric field E. How to calculate the electric flux through the whole area? If it is irregular area, it is difficult to calculate the area. In such a case, we consider a small area delta S, find the electric flux through the small area, then integrate the electric flux through the small area. You will get the electric flux through the whole area. If delta phi is the electric flux through the small area delta S, that is delta phi is equal to E vector dot delta S, the whole electric flux through the whole area phi is equal to integral delta phi, that is equal to integral E vector dot delta S vector. Electric flux is a scalar quantity as it is the dot product of electric field and area vector. Remember, electric field is a vector quantity. Electric flux is a scalar quantity. Now, electric flux density. Electric flux passing through unit area of a surface normal to the field lines is called electric flux density. Electric flux density gives the electric field at that region. Electric flux density is equal to phi divided by A. If an area A is placed normal to the electric field lines, and if phi is the electric flux through the area, then Electric flux density is equal to phi divided by A. It is nothing but the electric field at that region. So electric flux density gives the electric field at that region. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any suggestions, opinions, please don't forget to write them in the comment section. Thanks for watching again. See you.